Dwane, I know you are one that doesn't count much except the bottom line, but this was win number 300 for you. I know it marked some sort of longevity. Did anything come to mind about it?
Not at all. I was more worried about our transition defense and stopping the ball, more than anything else. But I just told the team it's a tribute of our mission, our process we're going through, where we started. We're not there yet, and we still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you got great play again today from the bench. You talk about the cohesiveness. You had mentioned earlier in the year that these guys started working on this new, quote, style, unquote, of play before anybody else, and it seems to be really showing now.
Well, again, it's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
It's a style that we played similarly in Dallas. We call it flow. And again, the young guys started working on it this summer. And, just really got into it as far as moving the ball. And their activity is just as important as anything else, And so, and CJ shooting the ball the way he's shooting it really helps tremendously everything else because, Dwane, Fred, Pascal, Yak, all those guys are in constant motion. And CJ's smart enough to understand where his shots are coming from within what we're doing. So he opens everything up and allows some of the penetration and drives. And those guys, my hat's off to those young guys. And again, I thought our older guys picked it up in the first quarter. We came out sleepwalking, had to call a timeout, and they got together and got upset with whoever and decided to start to play. So, but again, this is a good example of the way the playoffs are going to be in early games, noon games, 11 o'clock, whatever the NBA gives us. And we got to be ready to go. We can't wait till 30 minutes later.
Start of the third quarter, I think, went on an 18-2 run. The defense in the first 6 minutes was very impressive.
Right. Well, again, we knew that this team played on the West Coast trip. We were in the same situation in Washington. It's very difficult to come in off of a back-to-back. They have a good team over there, a solid team, some good vets. I'm happy for Kemba Walker to make the All-Star team. He's a pro, a big-time talent in our league. And so, it's just a tough game. It's a tough game for them, and not taking anything from our guys. But when you go out on a West Coast trip back-to-back in Utah and Portland, and then come and, travel on a day and then play the next day at 1 o'clock, we knew we had to keep the pace up and try to wear them down, and our guys did.
So do you look like it's going to be a long-term thing?
I think he's okay. He turned it a little bit out. He was tender, and we didn't want to risk it.
What about CJ finding space to get his shots? Is it just he's getting more of them lately? Is it more comfortable with those guys?
More comfortable, and they're finding him. Before the guys were kind of, if it's a quick action or you lose the moment. Now they're getting the moment, getting the pass on time, on target. So they're finding him, and just more familiarity more than anything else does.
The trapping and pressing that your second unit does, how much of a weapon is that for you?
It's a huge weapon because they have young legs, young energy, not as many miles on the legs. So they come in and change the game with their pressure. And, until somebody, and there's going to be nights that they just don't have it. And we've seen that against Washington. They just couldn't get it going. And there's going to be nights like that. But again, for the most part, my money's going to be on those young guys to come in and compete, play hard. Again, learning at the end, whatever minutes you get, you got to come in and play. As a coaching staff, we talked about closing the game just then. We gave up too many easy buckets. And again, that's when you coming in to make an impression and fight for playing time, whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and do your job at the end.
For that flow to work, for flow, do you need is there certain chemistry that you need, like a certain type of group?
Well, mentality, passing mentality, a fundamental mentality. Dwane and Fred fit it. CJ fits it. There's going to be nights when they can't find the bucket, but again, that's when your activity and you're rolling to the bucket and you're attacking the rim, and also your defense has to carry